Okay, welcome back, y'all. Can y'all hear me loud and clear? Yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me. If I need to raise the volume a little bit or drop it down, y'all let me know. Perfect. Hey, you dudes, welcome to the chat. Adam Farrer, is that how you pronounce that? Welcome to the chat. Glad to have you in here. Tyler Sheehan, glad to have you in here. Let me see. Jai Dadi Chani, is that how you pronounce that? Then I'm gonna guess Kenny Umelo. Is that how you pronounce that? Okay. Of course. You know I love helping y'all out. Of course, my circumstances in the background with the whole flooding situation. If you've been following me on LinkedIn, you've heard about that, to where really not able to use my house the way I want to. So things have slowed down quite significantly. But gonna try to put up a temporary battle station here soon so that I can provide you all more content. But everything's going well. I've had great support systems through this whole thing. So it's not been terrible, but I do miss my home. Tokyo Oni, welcome to the chat. We made it finally to a stream. We can also hear you fine. Well, too. Nice. So we're going to give it a minute, let people kind of trickle in here. Give it about 5 more minutes, and then we're going to really start it up. I'm going to try to keep this one to maybe like around 2 hours this time. So go a little bit at a faster pace. And it's been a while since I've done one of these things. So we're going to see how it's going to go. And then just so you all know, the way that I'm going to do this is that I'm going to be picking portfolios out of the chat. So if you have me added on LinkedIn, then go ahead and send me a message if you do want your portfolio reviewed. That way I can send you the link so that you can show up on the screen, and then we can go from there. Hedgeson said, "Hi, Tyvik. I got recommended to you by Jack Raffle. Glad to finally tune in to a stream." I'm glad he's spreading the word. And I still owe him a portfolio review. So if he is actually in the chat right now, then I do owe him a portfolio review. So tell him that if he's not here and he can be here, to be here, because I know he's been waiting for a while. He's been very adamant about me having one of these things a little bit earlier. So if you can contact him, reach out to him. I'd love to review his portfolio if he still wants that done. Okay. Appreciate it. Then Adam said, "I sent mine in about a month ago. Do you want me to send a new LinkedIn message?" Yeah, send me it so I can just have it updated. From that time that you sent it, I've gotten so many messages. So go ahead and send that my way. And then you'll be third up today. We'll make sure we get you in there. Then we're going to give it about 3 more minutes. Then we're going to start it up. Yo, Nova, glad to see you back in the chat. Glad to see your name. How you been? I guess would the chat be better up here? Can y'all see it a little bit better? I got to do something about this chat box. Since I'm not on Twitch, I've always had the hardest time trying to get these colors to work the way that I want them to, but that's something for another time, I suppose. Then Nova said, got an interview with Epic on Monday for an internship plus my birthday today, so I'm hyped. Well, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Yo, if you need any interview prep, reach out to me, and then I'll make sure you're situated on that, get you ready for that. Because the interview is a beast and a boss of itself, so I want to make sure you're prepared for that. So just let me know. Then AE dude said, nice room, man. You move all your stuff. This is the top level of the place that I live in right now. So only the downstairs, which is my living room and my kitchen, really got flooded. So all my electronics and whatnot, none of that was damaged. My battle station that I have right now is upstairs, so all of that is safe. So none of my equipment that I use to stream or game or anything has come into contact with water, which is a nice bonus. Then Hedgeson said, I've attempted to message you on LinkedIn, but I need to connect with you first. Okay. Okay, so I just accepted the connection request from 2 people. So hopefully that's you, Hedgeson. Is that how you say that? Hedgeson. Hope I'm saying that right. Okay, cool, Nova. I'll be on the lookout for that message. Okay, well, let's get it started right now. Then y'all give me a second while I bring the next person in here. Got Tyler up next. So Tyler, I just sent you a link so that you can join my stream. Once you get in, you're probably going to have to move away from the YouTube video that you're probably watching right now, so that way you don't get that double feedback from the voices. Devanch said, finally caught one of your streams. I've been looking into your content for a while on LinkedIn and here. Hope you're digging the content, and thank you for supporting. Thank you for being here. Thank everybody for being here. It's been a while. It's been a very long while. Okay, Tyler, can you hear me? Okay, I cannot hear you yet. Still can't hear you. Let me make sure that's not a thing on my side. One second, y'all. Let me make sure everything is 100% so we can hear him. Okay, so I think I see the bar coming up when you do talk on your end, so I think this is something on my side. So 1 second. My bad about this, y'all. It's kind of hard to test this equipment beforehand. Everything seems to be hooked up the way that it's supposed to be. Okay, I'm gonna send you a new code right quick, and then try
Works
that.
for me.
Can you hear me on your end?
Yep.
Okay. So I just gotta get this through somehow. Yeah, give us a second, y'all. 1 second. So you're probably gonna get kicked out of this, and then I'm just gonna immediately send you a new code, and you're gonna reconnect, and we're gonna see if it's gonna work. Okay. So if y'all can hear him, it's definitely something on my side. Let me wonder why that is not coming through right. Okay, I just sent Tyler the new code. Okay. Okay, let me read what y'all saying. Okay. Maybe have that programmer tab muted. Possibly. Wow, this is so weird. Okay. Okay, I just sent another one, Tyler. Now, this happened once before when me and Harvey Bickett was streaming, and it was on my end, so... Okay, so you're on, you can hear me, and then I still... This is weird. This is weird, y'all. Bear with me for a little bit, bear with me. Yo, Nick Jackson, welcome to the build, my man. Okay, collab cam should be good. Okay, well, if we go ahead and go over to game streaming. All right, can you say something now?
Hello, hello,
Nothing.
hello. Testing. Trying to get heard. Hello. Testing.
Yeah, this is weird. This is real weird.
Good.
Yeah, could call him on Discord.
It works for me.
Yeah,
If
that's really
that would be
weird. My
easier.
bad, y'all.
Streamlabs have probably got to be muting something.
Okay, yeah, let's see. And I'm gonna go back to this view right quick while we get things set up. So, Tyler, do you have a Discord?
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and send me your username on that, and then I'll send you an invite. friend. Okay, I just sent it.
Sick. Accept. Cool. Perfect.
Nick said, well, I got to get back to the drill. Just wanted to drop by and say hi, and I will check back in later if the stream is still going. Appreciate you for being here, my man. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat. Okay, and then have you... Okay, and then Tyler just dropped out on us. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. Wait.
Okay, no, well, now I can hear you.
Oh.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay.
Okay, and then show on stream.
Cool.
And, okay, perfect. Okay, let me pause this music in the background. Okay, my bad about that, y'all. I flipped every switch that I could to try to get that to work, but it just didn't. So, not sure if that's a me thing or a software thing, but we're going to continue to roll with it as planned. So, Tyler, thank you for bearing with me through all of that.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, cool. So, one thing, let me go to your LinkedIn right now. Then let me go over to this view right here. Then I'll move the chat box up in the top a little bit. Okay, so this is your page, everybody. This is Tyler. He's a game designer, but tell me what your goals are, what you've been going through, and really just a little bit more about you so I can help you out.
All right, cool. So, game designer. I graduated from college 2020, like spring 2020, right into COVID, so that wasn't a lot of fun. And I've had really weird situations, from an internship that was kind of sketchy to a career coach that was also kind of sketchy. So I'm more or less just kind of looking to still get that first job in industry, but advice from someone that actually seems to be in the industry.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, what did this coach tell you?
We worked together to create like a resume, work on portfolio a little bit, but after the fact, around GDC time, people came out and was like, I saw their name and like, oh, maybe she's not so qualified to be doing this.
Okay, gotcha. Well, hopefully you've come to the right place.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be like slanderous or anything like that, but
no, that's good. You always want to have that type of demeanor when dealing in the industry. You never really want to pass shade at anybody in the industry.
Yeah.
You can say that they weren't able to deliver what you wanted them to deliver, but never pass any shade or hate or derogatory words at another person on LinkedIn, because it can completely ruin your credibility. Okay, guys?
Yeah.
Very important. Okay. So is there anything in particular on your profile and your portfolio and your resume that you want me to take a look at?
My general biggest issue, I think, is either first would probably be my resume, just based on I have not had a ton of luck even getting interviews, and I mean with all the especially junior designer roles are not really hot right now considering the state of the industry. But it's more like when they appear, I'm still not really getting anything back.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried different formats of resumes, and it doesn't seem to really help all that much. So, just any advice you could throw out when you look at it.
Okay, and then you're titled as game designer. What does that mean for you? As we know, game designer is a really big field. There's a lot of disciplines under game designer. What do you gravitate towards?
Number one would be like technical design. Most of what I love just doing prototypes and weird little experimental style things. Usually those experiments are in combat, so technical combat designer is mostly like the most specific I can get with that right now.
Okay. and then Unreal or Unity, or
Mostly Unity, but I have learned Unreal just to like add that to my resume.
okay, so you know how to code in C, in a C-based
Yeah.
language. Okay, perfect. This is a tidbit for everybody out there. I know Unreal is very easy to use, and you go through blueprint scripting, and it feels phenomenal to get things done quick. But if you want to go into the AAA industry, a lot of that is not visual scripting, if any visual scripting at all. So you really need to polish your technical ability in a C-based language, so that way you can function properly in a AAA space if you were to get that job. It's very important. Like Tyler's doing here, he said, hey, okay, I can use Unreal, but I mainly work in Unity. That's completely fine. You don't need to learn both engines the same. Pick one that you want to stick with that resonates with you, but be able to be like, hey, I can go over there to the other engine. It may take me like half a month to like really ramp up and get back up to speed, but I know where everything is, and then that's perfectly fine. Okay, so you're more on the combat side.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the technical combat side.
Hmm.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's keep that. I'm gonna go through your profile first, and then your portfolio, and then we're gonna touch base at your resume. And then I'm
Okay.
also going to keep in the fact that you graduated in 2020 as well, because that's going to play a big proponent in this as well.
Okay.
So as I look down this page, the first thing that I notice is that your profile pic, it's not professional. So you're going to have
Okay.
to back your face up from the camera, have somebody take a picture of you. I absolutely loathe taking profile pictures. I hate it. It feels weird. It doesn't feel like you're being sincere, but really get somebody, maybe put on like a nice shirt or something, and then do your hair up the way that you want it, and then have somebody take a photo of you. That's going to pay dividends. You don't need to prepare 3 days a week to take a profile picture. Just get somebody to take one of you. Something is better than nothing, and then something professional is better than a selfie. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really the first outlook into who you are, is what your profile picture looks like. And then you need to make that more professional by backing up and then having, I guess, what do they call that? Like I forgot what type of photo that's called, but you need to have a professional picture right here. Okay. So you got your name right here, game designer. Game designer is fine for right now, Pennsylvania, East Coast. Okay, about section. I'm a game designer specializing in high intensity second to second action, emphasizing accessibility and diversity. I graduated from Drexel University's game design and production with an award-winning capstone project, Resilience. I've made 15 plus games since, including mobile, desktop, and board games using a huge variety of tools and workflow. Okay, so you've made a lot of projects. That's great. So second to second action, you can say moment to moment. I think that's a more common term for that. Then I'm a game designer specializing in high intensity second to second action, emphasizing accessibility and diversity. So if you were in an interview and I asked you, what does accessibility and diversity mean in this statement, what have you done so far to do that or to honor that?
So for accessibility, the big thing is always for me, someone's ability to actually like hold a controller and get input into a game. I know there are other things, but like keeping control systems, one, mappable, but usable, and just kind of keeping everything in a way that like a physical disability would not prevent someone from even trying a game, if that makes sense. And then I've been making some FPS stuff that's all about things like aim assist and basically just closing the skill gap between someone that just cannot physically work a mouse the same way as what you would consider standard.
Okay. Gotcha. And before we continue, they're saying that they're hearing double feedback. Can you mute yourself on the collab cam?
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I have you muted on the Streamlabs, but unmuted Discord. Does that work? Or
Okay.
I'm sorry, I muted Streamlabs and then unmuted Discord.
And you can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, chat. Is everything good now? Are y'all still hearing double voices? Is everything good? Can I get some ones in the chat if everything is good? Nova said sounds
Sick.
good. Okay, it works. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Okay, cool. Top skills, game development, combat design, and technical design. Okay, so it's looking like you kind of want to niche down, but you want to keep your options open by calling yourself a game designer, but we'll get into that in a little bit. And then featured. And then what is this post right here?
That is the one, that's like the last project I finished, and that's the one I was talking about with the accessibility FPS that I basically built systems to basically combine button presses with settings so that if you need, you can. Currently, the entire game is playable only using a mouse, no WASD or anything like that. So, for accessibility reasons, if someone only had, I don't know, a good use of one hand or was just not capable of flexing to hit multiple, like 8 more buttons, it's not needed.
Okay. Then what I would say with this post right here is that if I go back to your page, because you're referencing another post and you're featured, it's not showing up here. So what I need you to do is to copy what was said here and then post it as your own and then feature it on your profile so this shows up on your profile.
Okay. Write that down.
Okay. I made enough progress on this project. So you've been having progress post for your projects.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. That's fun. Nice. Okay. So experienced game developer, ancient past, adventure, internship, UC to port mobile game from GD developed to Unity for expandable game architecture, efficient level development in iOS builds, redesign all levels for better flow, expanded mechanics and design tutorials, developed structures for easy development after departure. Skills, technical design, game development, writing, and communication. Okay. So a good rule of thumb when you're describing what you've done right here is that this experience page right here can low-key be your resume as well. So if we go to my page right here, you'll see that here in my experience for Warzone's pretty big, and then that's the stuff that I worked on. But for Naughty Dog, I have the things that I worked on. So designing and scripting new player mechanics while working closely with animators, programmers, and other designers. Created and iterated in-game items to add new gameplay features. And so this is kind of like a list where you can list the things that you've done in resume format so that the person looking at your profile doesn't really have to go looking for your resume in the beginning to really break down what you've done.
Okay.
So I think this method would be really great for you, so that way you can bullet point out the things that you've done so it all doesn't look like a paragraph. It'll come off a little bit easier there. Bandito the Bandit. Hello, Tyvik. It's Jackson R. Won't be able to join tonight as I'm away from my PC, but happy enough to join the next one. Didn't realize this was an early one and just my luck to be unavailable. Well, I'll have another early one, and then you will definitely be the first one to know about it next time. But thank you for dropping in even though you're away from your PC. Glad to have you here. Best student game winner. That's awesome. Okay. So let's go to contact info, website. Okay. And then this dark theme is your website, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm Tyler. I'm a game designer. I make games. I make games. So typo right there. I make games focusing on second thrill while keeping accessibility to a maximum. Yep. I use inspiration from mythology, folklore, and heroes and work to incorporate diversity wherever I can. I'm a game design graduate and ready to start my career in games. Okay. Then about, resume. Simple navigation. I love it. Got the about page. About me, I never stop talking about games. The exchange of ideas is what makes games and culture surrounding them better, and I believe it is an essential part of being a good designer. Beyond making games, I play with the weekly Monster of the Week group. I've been participating in seasonal Blood Bowl League. Nice. And have competed in Mortal Kombat X, Injustice 2, Halo 5, Titanfall 2, having winnings in each. Nice. I work on some other creative projects shown below that are generally game adjacent and pretty cool if I say so myself. That's cool. So you sculpt.
Some of it's like 3D printed, but yeah.
That's awesome. That's really good stuff to have on there. And then if I click on all games, it doesn't take me anywhere. Or does it? Okay, there we go. Did that just take a really long time to load?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's got a lot to load there.
Okay. So I'm not for sure if it's cached now. I'm not for sure how high def these images are. One thing to note is that when y'all are making your portfolios, your image size does matter. So if you can reduce the file size, I reduce mine in Photoshop since that's what I'm akin to using. But if you have like a high def photo, you can actually, I'm not for sure if y'all actually be able to see this, but I use the Windows key Shift S, and that brings up a selection to where I'm able to just select a part of the screen in order to snap. And then I can open up, let me see if I can open up Paint, and then I can paste it. And then that image is probably not going to be that big at all anymore. And then so you can just save it in your folder. And then you have a lower res image that you can use for your thumbnails. And then once you click on a project or something, then you can have a little bit more high def images, but try to keep them as low as possible while maintaining the detail that you want to show. Okay. I already like the layout of this.
Easy enough.
And then are these images very high def?
They're not like 1920, but I think they could definitely be compressed down.
Okay. And then this
especially some of these were taken, the board games ones were taken with like my phone, so they're probably that weird 3K whatever size.
Oh yeah, if they were taken with your phone, then they're probably pretty big file.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of this is great. I love the thumbnails. I always love thumbnails versus having your entire project lineage on one single page and having the reader just scroll through it. The recruiters, like it's nice to be able to get to this page, see what projects you've worked on, and then if I want to know anything about a certain project, I can just click on it and go to that page. So since Promise Journey, which game best represents what you've done so far? Is it Resilience?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, have the video up top. That's great. Best student game.
Now, this is a game we released. Would it be, and the video I have is the debut trailer, not like a gameplay supercut. Is the trailer fine, or would a supercut just be a better option?
I think a trailer is fine.
Okay.
If this is an official trailer that you're using to market to the masses, like this looks solid.
Cool.
Oh, is that the top-down view? The space that you're building out?
Yeah, the whole bit with this game is that it's like we kind of based it on a Minecraft map where it's like diegetic, so that you're not sifting through a screen while playing the game, because it's
Okay.
supposed to be like a more narrative-leaning, educational city builder.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay, so this game represents you currently. Okay, you have the overview, your roles and responsibilities. Then you've done some UI design in there as well. Okay. And then how much of the coding did you do for this project?
not a ton.
Okay.
This was mostly a design slash UI design role.
Okay.
I did like hook up UI and polish certain like implementations where I could and like where the programming team needed help, but we also had a team of like 21 on this.
Mm-hmm.
And the certain stipulations for the computer science major students, they needed to basically handle all the code.
Okay. And then you said this was on Steam?
It's on
Or
it's on itch, but we're considering it like a released game. Like we're not updating it anymore. It's our capstone, so or was our capstone.
Okay. All right, awesome. Okay. So one of the things that I would tell you overall from what I've seen so far
Mm-hmm.
is, and then is this the project they use to represent you?
Almost 100% of the time, yeah.
Okay. So in the beginning, you told me that you wanted to go the more technical route and you wanted to focus on combat. You're still
Yeah.
using the game designer moniker, and resilience does not display any type of combat or the interest that you're trying to get across. So your marketing material for yourself is not lining up with where you want to be at. And so you have to use the projects that are combat related if you want to go the more combat route. So that way you can market yourself in a way that's like, hey, I'm combat. I'm all about combat. This is what I want to do if you want to reside in that space.
Mm-hmm.
You have to show off the projects that are going to show off your technical prowess, and you can actually talk about it, and you have the gameplay and the footage and the evidence to back it up. But you cannot market yourself as being technical and wanting combat, but your staple piece of your portfolio shows none of that. So that would be the first thing that you need to do, is figure out which of these projects represents you the best, and then break it down and show off your technical and then the design within that technical as well. But I will tell you right now that going to this page, it doesn't really tell me too much. There's a lot of text. One thing that you don't want to do, let me see, the overarching purpose of this game, one of the most important pillars of the game. Okay. You're talking about the game. If I am a recruiter coming to your portfolio site, sure, I'm there to look at the quality of the game that you've made and what your contribution is on it, but I don't care about the game. Ultimately, I'm not trying to hire the game or the product that you've made. I'm trying to hire you, see if you're a
Yeah.
good candidate. So when you go down this page and you write everything on this page, let me see, where is it at? The overview, tell me what the game is in a nutshell.
Okay.
And then after that, I don't really need to hear too much about the game unless you need to explain parts of the game to me to have me understand what you've actually done. You're using the game to market your skill set. You're not marketing the game itself. That's the mentality that you need to have when going into this. And then
Cool.
all of this is too much text. I'm not going to read that.
Okay.
Make it as simple and concise as possible. And then that actually helps you become a better designer, because the less words that you can say while getting the point across helps you communicate effectively once you get into the industry. And so that's something that recruiters are looking for also, is, are you able to explain yourself in a clear and concise manner? Have me understand it, even though I haven't worked on the project myself. What can I understand it? And right now, this is a little bit too much text. And if you only have about, maybe 10 minutes, if that, for somebody to look through your portfolio, you want to make sure you're getting right to the point and only telling them the main ingredients.
Okay.
Okay, and then the full GDD, UI style guidelines, master playtest data. These are all fine. These are more like specialized recruiter content. So most recruiters are probably not going to click on this. Good to have. I'm glad that you have it in the bottom for those who want to see that. But I would say that fix these up, make them clear and concise. Your game looks awesome when you click on the video up here. Like, just see, can I find it? This view of them just walking around, that's very therapeutic to look at. That's interesting. Like, show me that first. I'd probably rather see that first than like the whole setup. So show me the end product and what I've done or what I'm going to be capable of, and then start showing me the breakdown on how I lead up to that moment. That would probably be a better structure for you if you wanted to show off this project. But the game is satisfying to watch, so I would make this a GIF instead, and then just have your people walking around to the different stations, and that adds a lot of life to this page instead of just text.
Okay.
And then your resume. Then I'm gonna go over this quick because we still have more people over here. Excuse me, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, game design graduate, get rid of graduate. You don't need that. You're a game designer. You're not. The only affiliation you need to have when marketing yourself, as when it comes to your school, is, hey, I went to this school, which you have this on here somewhere. Then 16T shihan@gmail.com. Okay, cool. Design 10 plus digital games and prototypes. Okay, this section right here. Is this more like your summary, like for overall design?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. About ambitious game designer looking at I need to find, if y'all can, if somebody in the chat can actually go through my my activity on my page and link the post that I made to the resume template that I gave out to you all. If somebody can please put that in the chat. Tyler, I want you to look at that, because when it comes to resumes, plain, simple, and boring is what you need to do in order to just figure out how to word craft on there. Because right now you have the design up top. You have the 2-column method, which I really don't like at all, because my eyes are competing for attention over here and over here. I don't know where to look first. I don't really know where you want me to go on this page. And it's not you, it's just the 2-column method, and they do advocate for this method a lot. I disagree with it entirely, because it's just not user friendly from a reading standpoint. It's a pretty way to lay out information, but I think it does you more harm than good if you don't do it perfectly 100% right. Okay. And it's hard to get right.
I have an updated one. That is the resume I built with the what are they called? Career Coach. So I recently, I think I modeled it after yours. I went on, but the big thing I'm kind of struggling with is I don't really know how to frame experience in the same way as someone who's actually worked in industry. I can list like every single project I've made, but that's going to get exhaustive really quick.
Okay, I actually have a resume template that I used before I got into the industry as well. So I have to look for that, and I have to go find that. But I need to send that to you so you can have a good reference. And then maybe I can look for that right now.
I just updated the same link on the website.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, it might be taking a bit.
Did it?
Let me see. Did I feature them?
Why?
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
So here's the post. You can see if I expand it up, this is really simple and clean.
Okay.
Tyvik Starworth, game designer, has my email and everything on there. And my website, what it used to be, my education, my skills, my experience, and it's laid out very cleanly. And then you can see how I kind of describe myself. Dialect Effect was made in college. Doomerang was made in college for my senior capstone. And then Escalation was a Discord project that I was on after I graduated, just to kind of keep some experience in my belt. And then my awards are at the bottom. Simple and clean. Study it. Look at the way that I write things down. And just pay attention to the way that I'm describing things, because I try to describe it in a way where it feels like I do have that it comes across that I do have the industry experience, or I'm thinking in a AAA type of way for my projects that I've made in college. And I think that comes off as, confident and professional.
Okay. This is kind of the resume I was using or the style I was using originally, but yeah, again, I switched over to a different style that seems to be more or less chaotic.
Okay, and then that's fine. So let me post that in the chat for anybody that wants to have a link to that. But yeah, overall, I would say that you have to focus up on how you're selling yourself. You have the projects, you have the experience. You just need to really define what you want to market yourself as, and then switch around the way that you're doing that. So on your profile, market yourself as one thing. If you want to be a game designer, that's fine. If you want to go more towards the combat realm, then market yourself as a technical combat designer, and then show me the portfolio pieces that make you a technical combat designer.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter about your most recent project. If your most recent project is not displaying your skills in the way that it should be, then you need to pick another project that will. Okay.
Yeah.
And then for your portfolio, remember to be clear and concise. Market yourself. Market your skill set through your product. Don't market your product.
Okay.
The recruiters are there to hire you, not your product. And then your resume. Look at that resume link that let me see, and then I'll send that to you as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And then there you go. But yeah, is there any last question that you would like to ask me before we get off here?
The only thing would be, I've seen some kind of back and forth about like postmortems or stuff like that in the portfolio. Do you think it matters?
Postmortems? No. You need to be accurately displaying your skills.
Okay.
You've done the work. Now put in the time to actually tell people that, hey, you actually know how to do this.
Okay.
And then after all of that is right, if you do want to put in a postmortem, then sure, but I don't think people are looking for postmortems. They'll ask you that type of stuff in the interview.
That's kind of what I figured, because it's like they're not spending that much time even looking at GIFs, so it's like I wasn't sure if it was worth writing all that stuff and being like, they're not gonna read this.
Yep, nope. Waste of time when you have these other factors to worry about. So
cool.
Don't sweat it.
Cool.
All right, cool. Glad to have you on here, Tyler.
Thanks a ton. This has been really helpful.
Mm-hmm. All right, got you.
See ya.
Glad to help. Okay, let's see who was second. Okay. Okay, I see you. I put second. Okay, so Joseph is up next. And then I'm going to send you the collab cam link again to see maybe if it was just that. And then if it's not that, then I'll go ahead and send you the link. So see if you can join through there, Joseph. Go ahead and thumbs up that. Thank you for being in here, Tyler. Thank you for, being susceptible to the feedback. Reach back out to me once you get to a certain point if you have any questions. And then, is Joseph still in here? Okay. So Joseph, if you're still in the chat, I just sent you a link to stream. Okay, there we go. Okay, say something just so I can know if it's gonna work or not. It's not. Okay. Let me just add you only on Discord right quick, and then we'll get started. Yeah, this is real weird, y'all. This has never happened, so don't really know what's going on, but we are going with the flow right now. Okay, I just sent the friend request. And then let me know if you didn't get that or you got it. Okay, it's not showing up quite yet. And did you get the invite? Oh, I did put the T in there. I added it in after I copy and pasted. Let me try for it again. Okay, I just sent it again. Still not popping up. And then are you getting my friend request on your side? Yeah, just send one to me. Okay, now you're online. All right, cool. I think I can hear you.
Nice. Let me just exit out of YouTube.
Okay. And then be sure to.
You hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. And then make sure you mute your microphone audio on the
Oh, yeah.
Streamlabs.
Let me
Okay, I guess he backed out of the collab cam. 1 second, y'all.
Man. Hello, testing.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. But now I need you to click on the link to get back into Streamlabs. I just need you to mute your microphone input on that.
Hello.
Okay. Can you hear me? You still there? Okay. And then Joseph, you can hear me, right? And then everybody in the chat, you all can still hear me, right? Okay. Wow, it is a major pain for this collab cam to just be down. I didn't realize it was going to be all of this. So yeah, thank y'all for bearing with me today. This is very unexpected. Okay, can you hear me now, Joseph? Okay, we're gonna give this a little bit. Then if we can't get this working right, we might have to move on. Okay. Okay. Rob said it wouldn't be a true stream without some tech issues. Yeah. We have a lot of tech issues to go around tonight. Okay, there we go. So I'll show you on stream. So you're on stream, and then you're in Discord, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I need you in Discord to unmute your mic if you have it muted.
Nope, it's not muted. It's not muted. Yeah. I see it working on my end. You don't hear me? I might have to exit out of the Streamlabs.
Okay, and y'all can hear him fine. So it's just on my end. This is, oh, well, y'all probably hear him through the Streamlabs. So output divide. Let me see. Okay. I think
Can
now
you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you. Now I can hear you. Okay.
You can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Wow. Okay.
All right.
Thank y'all for bearing with me once again.
Let me mute the site so I don't get no feedback.
Okay. All good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Can y'all post a one in the chat if everything is good? You're hearing his voice one time, you're hearing my voice one time. Is everything all right?
Is it still echoed?
Okay, somebody said nope, it's still echoed. They said they hear mine double. So you may have to mute me on the Streamlabs link.
All right.
Double for both.
What about now?
Okay, what about now, y'all? Everything coming through clear? One voice for each of us? Still double. Wait a minute, is my collab cam actually working now? Let me see. If I So where are you at? So I'm gonna drop the call. And then can you say something for me?
Now I can't hear
Okay.
you.
Man, this is so weird. Okay, and then I just called you again.
I can hear you now.
Discord, okay. So you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Now, is this good, y'all? Is everything good? Should be one voice for each of us. I think we're good now. Okay, cool. We're all good. All right.
Nice.
Okay. Same thing as the last. Joseph says you're a technical artist here, focusing on animation and rigging. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your goals, and where you're trying to get to.
Yeah, man. So probably unlike everybody in here, I didn't go to school for game development or animation or rigging. I started actually after I graduated from university, my undergrad, and I just deep dived into it for about a year. I started around 2020. So I started sculpting and rigging characters. And then I had this idea of making cinematic like shorts. So I wanted to learn how to animate. So I got into animation, and now I love animating, but I also found a new passion in technical animation, basically coding locomotion in Unreal. I just started learning C++ like around June, and I've been focusing on learning how to code like locomotion, parkour, and motion matching in Unreal Engine. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if not going to school for 3D art is a hindrance, but I can't really help it. I didn't know what I wanted to do really in university, so I just studied business.
Okay, cool. Well, that's some nice discipline on your part for actually doing this, going through with it, learning some stuff on your own. That means quite a big deal to the recruiters. Now, I will say that the recruiters do like to see hey, I went to this university and I got a game design degree, but if you have the skills to back up what you're talking about and you're very knowledgeable about the pipeline anyways, then, your skill can speak for itself. So before we get into this, we're going through your PPR, your profile, your portfolio, then your resume. Is there anything specifically that you wanted advice on?
Well, I spoke to one lead technical animator because that's really what I want to specialize in is technical animation. And he told me that usually technical animators it's more of a transfer from the animation side, from the animation specialization to technical animation. Really, it's rare that you just start out as a technical animator.
Hmm.
Uh, so I mean, I try to tailor my portfolio more towards animation. Even though I did put technical artist on my header,
Hmm.
technical artist, animation, and rigging. But uh, I'm not sure which path to take because my portfolio. If you look on my YouTube, I have some gameplay that I am working on, and on my art station is all animation and the characters that I'm animating.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit of both. I don't know if recruiters prefer just animation or if they're also interested in seeing some rigging, some gameplay, so some coding. I have a GitHub, so it's like my portfolio is I'm trying to tailor it for animation to get into the industry, but at the same time, I still have some knowledge in coding and engine implementation of animations
Hmm.
and rigging characters. So I'm not sure exactly what you recommend I do.
Okay. Market yourself as a technical animator.
Okay.
A technical animator is still an animator. That just means you know the technical side of it. When it comes to animation, the animation is going to be like an end product. Whatever you make, however you move the model that you're moving, that is the animation. So the technical aspect is going to be in the final result of the animation. So what he said, okay, you're not really going to get into the industry as a technical animator. You need to animate first, show off the animation, but also you can tell like, hey, I was technical. This is what I did for this. If you have a very specific thing that required technical knowledge, then you can say that in there. But at the end of the day, your animation and the quality of that is going to be what they're going to look at. And then that's all that matters. So if animation is going to get you in the industry, like he was saying, then do focus on the animation. But in your portfolio, do talk about the technical aspects that helped you make that animation. As
Okay.
when it comes to your page right now, the first thing that I notice is that you don't look like your profile picture anymore. You're going to have
LinkedIn?
to, on LinkedIn. Yes.
Oh wow. All right. It's probably because I'm bald. I don't know. Maybe it's the hat.
How long ago did you take this picture?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
it's been like a few years.
okay, yeah. It's time to get updated. Because I'm
All
looking
right.
at two different people right now.
Yeah, I have a more like I got you, man.
Yeah. Just go ahead and take it. It's the most daunting thing. Nobody wants to do it, but just go ahead and do it. And then Unreal
Yes,
Samurai
sir.
33 said, shout out to the DC area. It's good to see someone from that area pursuing game industry. DMV born and raised.
Hey, yes, sir.
Got some support in the chat.
Present, man.
Okay. So, yeah, market yourself as a technical animator. That's the first thing that I would tell you. Animator still in the title, so they'll know that, hey, this guy animates. Oh, he's technical as well. Yeah, that's awesome. Everybody likes somebody with a little bit of technical ability under the belt. So, yeah, get rid of this and just say technical animator. Any other
Get rid
animators
of
or
technical artist, animation and rigging, and just put technical animator.
technical animator.
Or
Anybody that's going to be looking at your job title or for your job title or for animators are going to know that technical animators deal with animation and rigging.
okay.
And then you can
All
also
right.
show that on your portfolio. And then about greetings. I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ who animates, loves action video games, practices martial arts, works out, enjoys anime, manga, and races motorcycle. So your about section, the first thing that I should see is what makes you different from all the other animators or technical animators out there. This is a spot to sell yourself for your skill set, not to tell your hobbies. If you want to tell your hobbies, keep that at the lower portion of your about section because that's not what you want people to grasp right away. You want people to see what you're about through your craft, your skill set, what you do, what your passion is, what wakes you up every day. to, pursue the things to pursue this skill set. So an about section should be, hey, I'm that person. I'm bringing this to the table. This is my skill set. This is why I do it. And then this is why you want to hire me.
All right.
Then I'm passionate about creating engaging and immersive experiences that transport players to new worlds, allowing them to connect with the characters on a deeper level. For now, my skill sets mainly focus on developing 3D animation. Remove for now. You just clearly define my skill set focuses on developing 3D animations. However, I also enjoy rigging characters and vehicles as well as coding animation logic via C++ and Unreal Engine 5. So that's already a lot. You can have an affinity, which is the animating side, with other interest. So you don't want to hype up all of these things that you're doing like they're all on the same plateau. So you're an animator. Oh, look, I am a badass animator who also knows how to do these things. I'm not saying that these things are what defines my animation skill, but I'm saying that I've learned this. This is what I do. This is what I enjoy. And then this helps me craft those top tier animations that I'm crafting. So you're an animator. Tell them why you're a badass animator, and then tell them under that, here are the other skills, secondary skills that make me the badass animator that I am.
Got you, man.
Sell yourself right here.
Yes, sir. I just updated my profile picture. Is that better?
Let's see. Much better. Much better. Good.
Nice, man. Thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, you look a lot more professional right there. That's a nice pose. You're framed. That's a great photo.
All right.
Okay. Now featured. Okay, if I click on this leads to a video. Now, is this work that you've done?
Let me refresh the YouTube. Oh yeah. That's the quality is terrible on LinkedIn. It gets compressed. But yeah, that's my most recent work.
Okay.
So I rigged the character and did the animations and the simulations and environment, lighting, all that stuff.
Okay. So when I first click on this post, I don't know exactly that you did this.
Oh yeah, that was all right. Sorry, man. Yeah, that was geared towards a specific studio, like in that society. So that's why you see those are the founders, two of the founders. That's why I tagged them. And I heard that it's best to like target a specific studio, a style that of the game when you work on your portfolio. So that's why my most recent piece is geared towards this studio, which is basically a shooter, a studio that focuses on shooter, like Tarkov type shooting, realistic. So but my art station, I think I know people like the recruiters look at your LinkedIn, but my portfolio on ArtStation has all the technicalities of how it was made in the description. But this right here, this post is just aimed towards these people that I tagged. I don't know if that was a bad take on posting on LinkedIn, but
I'd say it's not the best way to go about things.
Yeah.
Because if you tag people in a post, then if they were to reach out to you and hire you, and then people remember this post, then other people will start doing that as well. And that's not really a great look on the company. And if you do this and you tag them and they comment underneath, then you're almost like forcing them to respond on what you've made, which is not really a great take either. So I would say if you're talking about anything career related, keep that for direct contact. because that's going to be the most amount of professionalism. That's going to be direct contact, so you can talk about things a little bit more in detail. And are these animators at the company?
Oh, these are the founders of the company. Like,
The
I don't know
founders.
if you know who Dr. Disrespect is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's Guy Beham, and I'm sorry if I butchered his last name. And Robert Bowling is the other founder.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah,
So yeah, typically when it comes to founders, they have an HR recruiter that does all of that stuff for them, because that's a lot of work to find great talent. And so you would try to figure out who is the HR recruiter, or who you would talk to behind the scenes, so that way you're in direct contact with whoever you need to talk to, and then you can have a dialogue. But tagging them in a post is kind of forcing them to make a move, and if they do make a move, then that's risky on their part. So it's best to keep that stuff to direct contact.
all right. Yikes. Probably blew with that one then, yeah.
It happens. It happens. I've been through stuff. I didn't make all the right moves when I was looking for, a position as well. So it just happens. It's stuff that you learn over time.
Yikes. All right. I won't do that again. I wish I knew that, man. All right.
It's all good. It happens to the best of us. Okay. You're not the only one. There are a lot of mistakes made on the job hunt. It's fine.
Yeah. It seems like the industry at this current time, there's no room for mistakes, especially if you're trying to get in.
Yeah,
So
I've heard.
yeah,
I've heard. It's
probably
cool.
screwed. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Of course, I'm here
So I
to.
don't.
Go ahead.
No, do you recommend I delete it? I don't know, man.
Delete it. Make a new post. If you still want to keep this video up as your featured, then go ahead and do that. That's fine. But even reading right here, Robert Bowling, and then Guy Beam.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how you pronounce it. I don't know what that is. You put Nightmare right here. I know that you have a video. I really don't know what that is. So at least maybe try to have a little small description right here of what I'm going to be expecting when I do click on this. Because if I was looking at this, I don't know if you're an animator. I don't know if this is a video that you just want me to watch for entertainment. I don't know if this is something that you just thought was cool to share. You have to really tell me within these text boxes right here what it is I'm going to be looking at and why it matters.
All right.
Because a lot of people just feature posts that they found insightful, or posts that are not relevant to their career path. And so you have to really be explicit with the text that you use right here.
Understood, man.
And let's see. Thank you for reposting that. Love the support.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thanks for the help, man.
Of course. And then, let me see. You can go ahead and delete this picture right here. This is more like or did you use this in your project somewhere?
Oh no, that's a link to my Upwork account in case someone wants to see like how much the activities on my Upwork for freelancing, in case the recruiter's interested in an experience that I have. That's just my profile picture for Upwork, but I'll change that to match my LinkedIn.
Okay, yeah. Technical artist, technical animator, with a focus on vehicle, creature, and humanoid projects. You have your skills down here. This is a lot of skills.
Yeah, those well, yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to bloat it. Those are actually like the applications that I use, and I know I need to specialize. Like modeling and texturing I could probably remove those because I know in the industry they want specializations, but this
Mhm.
is my freelance work, so that's why I put everything on there. Because usually, like for freelancers, they hire like a generalist.
Mhm.
They don't want to hire. They don't want to hire a specialist. You know, they
Okay.
want to hire one guy who can do like all the work. So that's why I put everything there. But if it'll help me out, I'll remove everything but the animations and rigging. Uh, the applications I could use.
Okay. Are you going for AAA?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This is just my experience because I thought it would help me out.
Okay. So, what I would say here is I don't doubt that you don't have all of these skills, but when I look at this is just a block of text. Now, if a recruiter is coming through looking at this, they're seeing all of these skills and they kind of blend into one another. And then there's no focus within this. It's like, what skills does this guy focus on? Sure, you can read the first three, but it has so many other things. So I would say don't treat these skills right here like they're hashtags and then that you can just add in everything that you've worked with. You don't want that. You want to have the most prominent skills that you use, that you can advocate for yourself with, that you use to do the job. And those need to be really defined and really concrete. Right now, as skills, you have software, you have roles and titles, you have soft skills. It's kind of all over the place. Now, I don't really recommend putting soft skills on there unless it was like very critical to what you were working on. So if you were a lead or something, then you can put leadership, but this is too much because from your perspective, you're like, yo, I do all of this stuff. Of course, I'm gonna put it down on the page because this is what I do. This is what I live. But for somebody looking in on you, it's like this guy thinks he can do everything, or it kind of comes off as arrogance, or it comes off as, okay, this guy is a jack of all trades. He's not really going to be able to go in depth with anything in particular, so let me back off. But you want this page to lead them to your portfolio, so you don't have to put everything on here. So what you can do is have your top 5 skills that you used, or you can have your top 5 hard skills, your top 5 or your top 2 soft skills. And then if they want to know any more about what you actually do, then you save all of this stuff for your portfolio because you'd rather show them, not tell them. And if you show them and you go to your portfolio and they look at your pages, they're going to see all of this stuff on your portfolio page without having to actually read through each individual thing.
All right, that makes sense.
And a lot of these things you can't quantify. And so you put it down, but it tells me nothing. Like you put critical thinking down. How do you quantify that from one person to the next? You quantify
Right.
that by maybe how you break something down in your portfolio or how your portfolio projects are presented. So that's the standpoint where I'm coming from. I'm sure you do have all of these things, but the outlook of this is not great from a recruiter standpoint.
It's understandable. Yeah,
Hmm.
I got you, man. Gotta streamline it.
And then Rob said, this is interesting perspective. That's helpful insight for me as well. Glad to drop some knowledge on you. Okay. And then these are links. These links don't have any names on them, so I don't know where this is going to take me.
Sorry, which links?
So these thumbnails down at the bottom right here, I don't know where these are going to take me, so I'm probably not going to click on them.
Oh,
So like
well,
this
that's
one,
that's for like link. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say this right here, this kind of
Yeah.
has, a thumbnail title. So I kind of know what I'm expecting right here when I click
Oh, I
on
see what you're
this,
saying.
but these
All
are
right,
just pictures.
I understand. Okay.
Oh, wait, did I just... Oh, I see. And then if possible, whenever you link to an external site, open it in a new window. If that's a setting that you can toggle on these.
Oh, no, you can't.
Okay. Unreal Samurai said, less is always more. Get to the specifics of what makes you great and let the recruiter see the rest of your additional skill through your portfolio.
Yeah, I'll definitely work on my LinkedIn account. You know, I don't use social media like Facebook, Instagram. I really don't use them. So even if you look at my LinkedIn, there's really nothing on there. You know, I stay off of social media for the most part. So it's really it's depressing when you get judged off of your social media account for your skills I think it should just be off of your portfolio. You know?
Yes, but check this. The way that you market yourself is a skill. The means in which you market yourself by whatever type of dialogue or the way that you speak about yourself is a skill and shows confidence. If you have done the work on your end, then you have to you better make damn sure that you put into craft your words on whatever social media that you're using to make sure that your words and the way that you talk about yourself is advocating yourself the best way possible. Because it is not great to be in a point where you have the work, you're doing it, you feel like you're doing it, but you're just not self-marketing yourself as much as you should be. You put time into your craft. You have to put time into self-marketing yourself and telling everybody how awesome you are, because nobody else is going to do it for you. So you have to come to the table, be confident, say, hey, I do this. This is me. This is why you want to hire me. These are the skills that I possess. And you have to be confident about that. So while it's taxing, I hate doing profile, portfolio, resume, all of that. I hated it. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to advocate for you like yourself. So you have to make sure you plug time in to advertising the product, not just making the product itself.
So I'm a product, basically.
Yeah, because like
advertising as a product.
Listen, let me see what we got here. Let's say I make like laptop cases, super tough, super rigid, can survive falls, no problem. This is top tier quality right here. But nobody knows about it. And then if they do see something about it, I'm not hyping it up. So I'm just like, yeah, another standard laptop case. You can use it as a cup holder as well.
Gosh, all right. I got it, man.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to like really lay that point in, because that's paramount. So make sure you market your products well. Okay.
For sure.
All right. So your portfolio, contact info. Now, do you want me to go to your art station? Is that where you keep majority of your work?
Viewed all the work on my art station.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a GitHub. I don't know if that helps at all, but because that's what I want to specialize in, coding, coding, locomotion, logic. So I don't know if that helps, but these are just projects, two of my most recent projects that I'm working on.
Okay.
But I'll remove it if I should just focus on pure animation right now.
So this is your most recent?
Let me see. But yeah, that's my most recent work.
Sempre
And then it's just the
Yeah, just breakdowns of that's just a fully rendered version, and then just
okay.
oh yeah. So like the animations you saw, I include. I don't know if you. I'm pretty sure you know about it. Root motion. These are the in place variations of the ones that you saw on the videos above. Those were with root motion. These are without the root motion. That's why
Okay.
they look like yeah. You're a game developer. You know what I'm talking about.
hmm So if you all don't
Yeah.
know what root motion is a thing within animation that essentially like roots an animation in place. So for a walking animation, if let's say there's like a walking forward animation and you have root motion on it, then the root motion or the animation is going to take place relative to like an origin point. And so if you have a walking animation, then the animation is going to be walking. And then if it's on root motion, then it maybe will snap back when it loops. Or, wait a minute. Am I getting my terminology mixed up here?
The root motion is you got it. Like the root motion portrays the animation moving in the space, the 3D space, and the in place is just like it's just in place. So like if you look at the bottom one, like her feet are sliding on the floor, and she's running in place. But in root motion, she'll be running forward. So that's why you saw it in the
Okay.
and yes. So you said it right.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. I haven't messed with root motion in quite a while.
You at Sucker Punch, you do the combat. Are the when you receive the animations, are they root motioned or are they in place? And you have to do the logic for the velocity and all that.
Yeah, it's either or.
Okay.
But the system is set up in a way where sometimes you have to worry about that, sometimes you don't, depending on what I'm making. Okay.
Must be fun, man.
It is. I'm enjoying it quite
Yeah.
a lot. Okay, so
But
there
yeah,
seems to... Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I added all this stuff in case I know leads, the ones who get the final say as to if your skill level is up to par, and I heard that it's good to have a fully rendered version, but also add like a version without all the colors and distractions, so they could just focus on the animations. So that's why you saw all those extras on the bottom, all those extra animations.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And this looks like VR. I thought it was like an actual like you rigged up
Oh yeah.
the animation and then you rigged up the arm and then you done the animation yourself, but just moving.
Gosh.
But that's
Well,
all
I'll take
animated.
that as a compliment.
Yeah, that looks really smooth.
Thanks, man.
And then for this, I actually seen you post this a while ago.
Yeah. This is my first work for 2023. So
Gotcha. Yeah, it's good. Reminds me of the old Assassin's Creed games.
yeah, parkour. I was aiming for like an Assassin's Creed feel, like traversing through the building, over the buildings.
Okay. And so you say you started learning animation when?
Like 2 years ago. This is the end of my second year. Uh,
Okay,
so
cool. And then when was this wanted animation created?
this month, I just finalized it at the end of last month. So I started it in the beginning of August.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, the beginning of like October, and I just finalized it at the end of November.
Okay, cool. So very, very recently.
Yeah, there's a big gap between my work because I started doing the contract work,
Mm.
and also I started learning C++. plus plus. So, but there's a gap with my animations. You can see it filled in on my GitHub and on my contract work, like my experience.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will let you
Yeah,
know the recruiter is not going to be able to see that,
yeah, I know.
which is the whole gap situation. One thing that when did you make Nightmare?
Around March,
In March, and then Testosterone.
I reposted Nightmare because I made some improvements. But if you see my on my ArtStation as the actual date of when I initially posted it, but I did some improvements, some minor improvements, and I decided to repost it on LinkedIn.
Cool. And then Trap Tart said, "I get a sense of how much fun you had while making these animations." And he
Thanks,
also
man.
said,
Yeah,
"I love the music choice as well."
thanks. I appreciate the feedback. And yeah, it was fun. I love animating.
Okay. So one of the things that I am not the end all be all when it comes to animation. It's not my department. But from looking at this, it seems like you need more volume of animation. You need more animation studies on whatever you're doing. So, Nightmare, Testosterone, Wanted, those seem like finalized products. But it's great to see a lot of animators. They'll just play the animation in whatever software that they're making it in, and then they'll just capture the footage in there. There's an animator. You see Gene. Now Gene is an animator who works at Sucker Punch as well. He makes some really, really great content.
Yeah, yeah. I've
You probably
seen
seen him before. He has the
a
dinos
lot
and
of the
everything.
dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really cool stuff. And then he just now started to put his animations and everything into the engine. But you'll see
Yeah, I've
his
seen
real. Anybody who's an animator, please follow Gene. He's really good. He's really passionate about what he does, and he has a very exaggerated style while keeping things very realistic. But you'll see on his feed that he'll just capture stuff in the engine just to show his progress. And he's doing a lot of those things. So that's something that I would like to see from you. It's just having more smaller animations where you're actually learning, you're making animation to learn something. Maybe that's like exaggeration, maybe that's realism, maybe that's body kinetics, physics, something. But I'm not, from looking at your profile so far, I'm not getting something that you want to necessarily focus on. You've done movement, you've done the reactions from getting shot, and then some other things, but I'm not really seeing where you want to focus on. And then I need more volume to see what you've done so far. So in the 2 years that you've been doing this, I would have expected you to have a little bit more volume in your
Oh, I
repertoire.
did. I hid them. I hid them because I thought I saw a lot of professionals say that you want to keep updating your portfolio to show your most updated work, which reflects most on your skill set at the current time. So everything's on my Vimeo, but it's hidden from my ArtStation because
Oh,
I don't want recruiters to see a huge bloating of work. I want them to just see my current skill
okay, gotcha.
based on what I saw on the videos I watched from like other professionals.
Okay, let me see. I'm not even for sure if Gene has a portfolio or not. For some reason, my computer is going slow right now. And then we're going to have to move on very soon.
Yeah, you gave me plenty of feedback.
Yeah, he doesn't have his websites linked, but he does YouTube work and whatnot. But one thing that I would say is that I just want more volume. Spin, I don't need to see a finalized product. You're there to animate, so you want to show animation. Not a fully rendered scene, not an environment, animation. In a gray box animation without any textures, you can do that as well. And then Maxi Keller, he's a great friend of mine. He worked at Naughty Dog when I did. He's a great character animator. He does cinematics. He's done video games. He's also another great person to follow. And he does consulting now. And so reach out to him if you have any questions. He can kind of maybe tell you some stuff that I can't tell you, but he's worked on quite a bit. So a good person to reach out to. And then he has a reel that you can see. But he did work on The Last of Us Part 2, made a lot of good stuff. So he's very knowledgeable. So I'd recommend go checking him out, see if he has any information for you. That way you can stand out a little bit more. Okay?
For sure, man.
Okay?
Thanks a lot, bro. I appreciate it, Tyvik.
Of course. And then best of luck to you. Thank you for being in here, getting in the hot seat, and then, accepting feedback while people are watching. That's not the easiest thing to do.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Of
I
course.
appreciate it.
Anytime. Is there any last question that you wanted to ask me before you get out of here?
Yeah, just one. I'm assuming you code in C++ and while you're working, yeah? Or is it visual scripting?
It's proprietary. It's based off of a language called Lisp, but I do code in C# and C++.
Okay. I was gonna ask for some some learning resources. I use Udemy, however you pronounce it, a lot. Trying to focus on like a specialization of locomotions and motion matching type of animations. Like how did you learn how to combat code for the combat specialization that you were currently doing at Sucker Punch?
That started back when I was 13 years old. I got into Little Big Planet. They had a visual scripting language, and I've been doing this for a while now, so I've had quite a bit of a head start. What I would tell you and tell anyone in the artistic field, especially in animation, is that there are fundamentals that you just need to learn, and there are a lot, and you have to do those over and over and over and over until they become second nature. And so that's probably one of the things that Maxi would tell you. Like he has consulting now, so reach out to him to see what type of plan that you can get on, because there are some things that you just need to learn about for animation to make it look pristine and professional. As far as the technical part of technical animator that you want to be, I would say that focus on the animating part, and then once you get the fundamentals of animation and you start to be able to like churn out animation after animation after animation, then plug your attention into the technical aspect. But if you're going to be going back and forth between animating and technical and animating and technical, then you're never really going to learn the best type of technical animation, because you haven't understood the animation fundamentals first, and there's a lot. And so I would focus on the animation side first, and then figure out that pipeline, get great with it, and then start to incorporate technical as you start to increase your expertise. And that's my advice for you.
Sounds good, man. I'll focus on the animations.
All right.
Thanks,
Cool.
Tyvik.
Yeah, keep the grind going, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, take care, man.
All right, you too.
Thanks again.
Of course. Glad to have you in here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is 3:46 right now. Got two more people. I'm going to get two more people in here. It's going to be really quick. And then Trap Tart said, I've heard of the 12 principles. And then Unreal Samurai said, got to have solid acting, walking cycles, and just solid principles of animation locked down. Yeah. 12 principles of animation is a great thing to look up as well. It's a lot that you don't think of or realize that you need, but there is a lot of foundational knowledge out there for any discipline. But animation, being one of them, takes a lot of elements from other disciplines and teachings and artistic backgrounds to truly make a very solid animation. Okay, the next person, I said that they were third. See, Callum, I see you. Who did I respond to? Okay, this is quite a bit. It's Tyler, got to him. And then is this? Okay, this is Nova. Okay, that was a 204. And then Adam, I said that I would have gotten you fifth. My order is out of whack right now. 1 second, y'all. Then for some reason, this is going extremely slow right now. Okay, I'm going to go through here with some speed. So going to say that Adam, you're up next. Adam, you still in the chat? Okay. So can you send me your Discord, please? And then again, thank y'all for bearing with me through these technical difficulties. It's taken up quite a bit of time. I was expecting to get a lot more people today, but tech problems happen. Okay. Okay, I just sent you the friend request. Then there is the link to join the stream. Starting up the voice call now, y'all. Then currently waiting on Adam to hit join. There he is. Show him on stream. Okay. And I started a call with you on Discord, Adam. And Adam said it's loading right now. So just give it a little bit, y'all. So if y'all have any questions in the meantime in the chat, just let me know. Just drop them down there, and then I'll answer them in the meantime while we're waiting for this to get set up. Real Samurai said, no need to worry, Ty. Tech problems are bound to happen. Appreciate y'all. That's all I can say is appreciate it. Then Kenny said, doing heavy note taking today. I already learned a lot. Glad y'all learning something. That brings me joy. Trap Tart said, how do you use Miro? I have been going back and forth between Miro and just pen and paper for designing out things. Miro is, you can kind of shoot yourself in the foot when using Miro board. If people don't know what Miro board is, it's okay. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Something, I don't know why, but my mic, when it gets just slightly unplugged, it just doesn't respond.
Gotcha. Okay, one sec. Let me finish up answering these questions and then we can begin.
Sounds good.
If y'all don't know what Miro board is, it is a great design tool, but you can also make things way more complicated than they need to be with this design tool. Sign in with Google. There we go. Sure. So let's go to this one. So this is a side project that I've been working on. This is Miro board. It allows you to have images around here, and you can put like sticky notes on here, and you can move them all around, move them anywhere. You can duplicate it, organize a little bit. You can write some stuff here. And then it's a great note-taking app that you can use to write down your thoughts. And then you can right click, add text, type in something, put a sticky note up here, just so you can kind of, organize your thoughts. So it's a really great tool. And then you can have charts like this for great organization. And this is a great designer tool to use, but it's infinite. You can do a lot of things at once, and you can really get into the organization of the board instead of doing the work itself. And so I like to use this, but I really have went away from this model just because it's a little bit too much organization. I would rather organize, or I'd catch myself wanting to organize rather than to do the work, just because I like, clean organization, spreadsheets, clean text, all of those things. So that's what Miro board is. It's a great tool. But I stick to the notebook, or I've been using Excel docs and Google Docs to track what I need to. Excel allows me to space out information in a way that's clear to me. And then Google Docs allows me to not worry about the design of my organization, and I can just word vomit onto the page and get my ideas out without getting caught on too many things. So it just kind of depends on your level of diligence when it comes to using Miro board and what you need it for. Sometimes I think Miro board is a little bit too powerful for what you need it for. Sometimes it's the perfect thing. So it just depends. And then Unreal Samurai said, do you think the industry will bounce back from all the layoffs that occurred this year? Hard to say, but I will say that there was an uptick in the video game industry during COVID. COVID is over with, so I'm not for sure about the future. During COVID, everybody was inside. They needed stuff to do. Gaming was really big at that time. Gaming, I don't think, is as active as it was during COVID. So not sure that we're going to necessarily recover all of those jobs and positions. But I think more will slowly open steadily over time and not in a massive boom like during COVID. Okay. Let's get on the way. Adam, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Then thanks for your patience. Oh yeah, I remember you. So
I was wondering if you would.
yeah, I seen the profile pic. It's a little bit hard to see you on my screen because you're just like a very tiny part of my screen right now, but good to see you. If y'all don't know, I recently went over to Shawnee Game University or Shawnee State University to give a keynote speech about my trek into the industry. And then Adam was one of the students over there making a game and a product. So I went up to him and then offered his team and everything advice, and I play tested it, and he got to pick my brain and I got to pick theirs a little bit. And so now here we are. So good to see you again.
Good seeing you.
Okay, so tell people about yourself and what your goals are. And what you're trying to get to.
I'm currently a senior at Shawnee State University, studying game. It's not entirely game design; it's more game engineering. So we still do some game design, but it's not as talked about. But I am trying to be a gameplay engineer focusing on combat systems. My portfolio doesn't have as much combat systems, so I'm trying to lean more into it as I make more projects, but that's where I'm trying to head towards.
Okay. Gameplay engineer. Got the title already up there. Love it. Then I'm a gameplay engineer who specializes in combat systems. Okay. My philosophy regarding game making is this: the player is the top priority for me. For me, it's not just about creating a game, it's about cultivating an interactive experience that resonates with the audience. That means in-depth, dynamic, and impactful combat systems. Now, I will say for this about section, and then just so you all know, he's a student, he's about to graduate. I'm going to give him different advice than I would give somebody that has already graduated. So do keep that in mind as you're listening to me talking to him. Okay. So you want to do combat systems. You haven't really talked about what inside of combat systems you want to do. Now, combat systems is a very broad statement, and that there's very specific niches within combat design. Do you want to do melee? Do you want to do range? Do you want to do skills and abilities? Do you want to work on the 3 C's, character, camera, and control? These are a lot of things that you should consider when you're marketing yourself on here, because that is going to plan your trajectory forward.
Okay.
And then my philosophy regarding game making is this: the player is a top priority for me. This one thing to note about these type of statements is that if anybody can say it, then you don't need to say it. So if I took Adam's name out of this equation, this would be a very generic response, which, hey, that's fine. You're in college, you're learning how to market yourself. And this was a struggle for me when I first started. I was like, how the hell do I feel like I am marketing myself in a great way when I feel like I haven't gotten started, and they want me to talk like I have experience and I know what the hell I'm doing? And it's a very hard position to be in. But really solidify why your approach to combat and what you're doing in combat is special and unique to you. And that's going to take some work, just writing down in a notebook, like, okay, what am I about? What do I like in combat? That's a sit down with yourself, have a notebook, and then really iron out how you need to market yourself.
So that puts me at a little bit of crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my answer to that is more melee systems.
Okay.
But that also, I think, isolates myself from, say, the ranged systems. So it feels like it narrows my I can't think of the word. It knows how well I could do for other ranges, and it might prevent me from applying to some other places.
It's never a bad idea to specialize. Or, I'm not saying that you have to say, I only do this, but you can say, I'm a combat designer who loves, who loves the melee aspect of combat design. This is why I love it. This is my approach to it. This is why it's unique for me. And then additionally, I support the melee combat with ranged mechanics or maneuvers or magic, whatever type of game that you're making, to complement the melee combat. And so there's a way that you can kind of spin it off to where, hey, this is my focal point. If you're melee, you're melee. If you like to make, range, magic, and abilities, then that's also something that you can do as well. So don't think that you're pigeonholing yourself into one specific position just because you're emphasizing one over the other. That's actually a great thing, is to specialize one over the other, because I talk about having affinity and then just simply have interest around that, and you can talk about those. But market yourself as one thing, and then you have interest, and then you can still apply to the jobs that may not be necessarily like melee. Like if it's like making abilities or something, or the 3 C's, then like, hey, this guy has melee experience, maybe he can do this. So it's not like if a recruiter goes down your page and they're like, oh, this guy only does melee. They're not going to do that. They're going to be like, okay, let me look at his portfolio. He's done melee. He dabbles in this. He does this. Okay, he's a great candidate. At the end of the day, you can swap over to combat you can swap between like melee and range or magic or whatever you want to do, pretty easily if you understand the basic foundations of combat in general. Okay.
Got it.
And then Trap Tart said, if AAA is a goal, I think the focus on melee would be a good thing. As a gameplay engineer in the AAA space, I would imagine you would be needed to put up, wow, this emoji, this like little heart icon is cutting off the text. You would be needed to put up multiple systems. Yeah, if you're a gameplay engineer, you're going to be touching all of it, but you can still have an affinity for one specific thing. But like Traptar was saying, if you're a gameplay engineer, you're going to be touching the melee, you're going to be touching the range, you're going to be touching the magic, or whatever other abilities that you have in the game. And then at some points along the pipeline, you might specialize in something a little bit different or be catered more towards a certain system. Just depends, but you can have an affinity. I'll just say that. Okay. Great portfolio picture. Everybody notice this? Great picture. He's in frame. The lighting is great. He's showing off his most recent self. Good photo. Okay, lab tech. My job requires me to keep about 60 computers up to date with all the latest software. Cool. Finance intern. So the projects that you have made in college, I would actually add those under your experience as well. All right. That's going to be very important because your college projects are experience. You're working with a team, you're doing the thing, you're doing what you love, you're having, communication and arguments and resolutions. You're doing all of that. And then plus your senior capstone project, it has a timeline. And so you can add that to your experience. Just state that, hey, this is a student project. You'll be fine. But that'll let them know that you're still actively doing stuff.
Okay. Would you put that in like an experience tab, or would you put it into like a different section?
It would just be down here like the rest of these.
Okay.
So it would be above the lab tech. You would have it in there, and then you would describe what you're doing, just like these other jobs that you've had.
Okay.
Okay. And then one thing that I see a lot of people do is that for people who are newer to the industry, they have a featured section right here where they make a post about their portfolio. So that way, when I scroll down your page on LinkedIn, I see a little blip right here where there's a portfolio. So let me see.
I actually have a reason why that wasn't. My portfolio was 2 pages when I was going to do it, and it didn't fit super well. And I managed to get it down to 1, and I have forgotten to update it.
Okay.
So that is something I do plan to do.
Okay, cool. Then so let's move on to GitHub. This is so wild to me. I still think of GitHub as just like a code only space, but it still trips me out that you can just make websites on this space.
It's free and everything. It's great.
Wow.
I do plan to transition into Wix because it will make it a bit quicker to add on to it, because the GitHub page is full HTML, CSS code.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just drag and drop, which makes things a little slower.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. I'm sure y'all have heard about my spiels on the other streamings that I've done, but I love Wix so much. It's simplistic enough to not be complicated, and it's complex enough to get the detail that you want out of the pages that you do make. But okay. So since are you going to be switching over to Wix soon?
I plan on it.
Okay. So I'm not going to rate you too much.
I'll probably keep the format around the same though.
Okay.
Like how things are placed, I'll probably keep that around the same.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, so your name is up top, gameplay engineer. That's great. This is a lot of negative space right here, so I would remove a large portion of this. If we compare this to mine, I just have a header bar up here, and then I let the material on my portfolio speak for me. Your name
That
right
is one
there.
of the drawbacks to having the GitHub is I got a free template from HTML5 up, and I haven't looked too in depth how to change the CSS version of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of just left it, and it's been something I've looked at, and I know it needs work done.
Okay. And I would say with your portfolio, don't worry about trying to have any custom code, at least for right now. It's just going to be a waste of time. You're going to reiterate your portfolio so many times before you get to the final version, so it's almost not worth it to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trap Tart said, also get those connections up, Adam. And he said, I just sent you one. So yeah, the connections, you're still a student, so this is kind of like less relevant, but as you're nearing graduation, try to get up to 500 connections. Not as fast as you can, do it steadily, because you don't want to just mass connect with people. But 500 connections, it shows that you've been on the platform for a while, you're established, you're not just on there recently, and that you have a pretty good foothold and you have a pretty good network already. And that's a great moniker to figure out how, I guess, solidified somebody is within the game industry, is by how many connections they have. Okay. Recent projects, Isle of Ether. Remember playing that? Unreal Engine Auto Builder. Critters. Okay. And then browse all projects if I hit on this. Okay, so there's more.
I tried to put my most recent / best ones up front.
Okay. I still think there's value in having these right here. If you go back to, let's go to my portfolio. I have my most recent one up here, except Sucker Punch. But I have my college projects down here, or my less relevant projects, and they're just down here, just so you can see them.
I really like to put them like basically in a grid essentially, but you still know what they are.
Yeah. And so I'd say show them. Don't hide them behind a button, because the thumbnail looks cool. Like, I would click on that to see what it's about. And then that looks interesting. I would click on that to see what that's about. So don't hide them behind a button, because that's work that you've done. And it's just more to your portfolio. Okay, Isles of Ether. And then also on your next iteration, I like the design idea of you click on the thumbnail. If you go to YouTube, here we got Mr. Beast. There's no, click here to watch the video. You can just simply click on the video, and then the content pops up. So same thing applies for your portfolio. Don't really need to learn more. Just make it abundantly clear that you can click on the image, and then bam, here I am. As for design, I have the thumbnail, I hover over it, something happens, so that way you know that you can click on it. Okay. Isles of Aether is an action-adventure game based on Unreal Engine 5. The primary object the team and I had was to provide the player with a fast-paced and... God, I don't know why I just blanked on the word. Versatile combat experience revolving around unique weapons and spells. Okay. What you accomplished, great. Lessons learned. Okay, so this is still a work in progress. So then I've actually played this demo, you all. This is a work in progress. It's your senior capstone, and they still have, some work to do on it. But probably just get in some screenshots or some videos or some GIFs or something so you can start learning how to lay out your information early.
Okay.
And your video is in a square format right now. Make sure you switch that over to, the 1920.
Yeah, I noticed that while looking at your YouTube.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't know how it came up like that, but it is. Oh well.
Yeah, I would say for you, go to my portfolio and look at the way that I kind of lay out things. And then if you really want to look at the way that I laid out information back in the day, these are all my college projects, and you can see how I talked about them before I got into the industry. So that'll be a great reference for you. So what I'm going to do, or you can go to my profile and then click on my contact info, but I'll just go ahead and send it to you.
All right.
No biggie. And then the menu, this whole menu clickable button, this is for mobile style. This is not for desktop. So the less clicks, the better. I want to see a navigation bar up top where I know where I want to go. About contact, click on it. There's no extra steps. But the resume is right here. Great education, work experience, projects, and skills. I typically prefer to put the skills at the top, up here, and then put the education down at the bottom.
I get conflicting information from literally everyone I talk to. So it seems like some people prefer education at bottom, some people prefer skills, and I'm still not sure.
So what I would say to this is that they're going to see the education part at the bottom, but the most important thing is, are you hireable?
Okay.
Are you hireable? That depends on your skills and your work experience. Your education, they're going to see that on your LinkedIn profile, and they're going to see that at the bottom of this resume. And the first thing that you want to do, the first thing that you want to see when you open up your resume is like, what can he do? Not where did he go to school at, as a first thing.
Okay.
But it's kind of like you're trying to use a school. The way that I think about it is that you're trying to use a school as a platform for your credibility. But that's not, I wouldn't do it that way. Because I would sell myself like, these are my skills. This is what I do. This is the software that I know. This is my work experience. And then recruiters always know that the education section is at the bottom or somewhere in the resume. So they will find it regardless of where it's at. Okay. So that's what I would say about that. And then other than that, I can't really comment too much on your portfolio right now. There is info missing on there for some of your projects, or at least the Isles of Aether. And then you're going to be porting that over to a new platform, so that's going to look different than this right now. I will say that you're going to need a lot more information, and then God, what is? Let me see. There's a combat designer that I always go to. What is his name? It's completely blanking on me right now. Wow. Okay. There's a combat designer that I always go back to his combat designer template. For some reason, the name escapes me right now, but I will send that your way once God, it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. But it is a really good combat designer focused portfolio that you can learn a lot from. It has GIFs, it has breakdowns, it talks about the projects, and it has reference images for where he drew that inspiration from on his project. So I'll send you that once I remember what his name is. I can't believe that I forgot it. But anyhow, yeah.
Okay.
Keep going. Do reach back out to me.
I definitely will.
At different milestones, especially like halfway through your senior year, and then right before you graduate, so we can get you
I
set.
think this is my halfway through senior year.
Okay,
I'm about
gotcha.
to start. I'm about to end my first semester.
Okay, cool. Well, reach back out to me after you get your website done.
Will do.
And then so we can
I do have
review
a
that.
question overall. So winter break's gonna be starts for me, I think 2 weeks from now. So gonna be putting a lot of applications out during that break, just internships, full positions, just see what will catch. Do you have any websites you'd recommend? I've been using Hitmarker a lot to just get as big of a net as I can find.
Okay. Probably say link. There were some that I went to when I was applying. I mainly went off of LinkedIn, and then that led me to other places. I would ask a recruiter, get into contact with a recruiter to help you out in that process, because they're going to know a lot more about the ins and outs than I would.
Okay.
And they'll help you know like what you should be doing when you apply. You know, make sure you reach out to the HR recruiter if you can find them on LinkedIn. Tell them, hey, I applied, I'm interested. That's going to set you out from the crowd, because not only did you submit it, but you reached out, you done your research, you reached out to the right person. So yeah, maybe that's something that you can do, is reach out to a recruiter and then have them help you with that. The reason that I'm in this position right now is because I had recruiters to help me out. There was a guy named Guillaume that I came into contact with when I was looking for a job. And I'm sure if you're on LinkedIn, you know, the Matt Barney, who is a very big recruiter in the space on LinkedIn. He was the one that, you know, helped me like figure out how to negotiate my salary, find jobs that weren't on the market, and just overall help me. And when it comes to like internships and gearing up for, you know, things of that matter, find a recruiter to help you through it. That's going to be the best thing that you can do.
Got it.
And then Trap Tart said that he found his job on Hitmarker. And so that's a great space.
Okay.
So I will say, I'll fall on my sword at this point and say that I haven't really been up to date on the platforms that do have the job listings on them, because I've been in the industry for quite some time. So that is one area where I'm a little bit rusty in. So I wish I could provide more information there. But all in all, remember, make sure you put your experience of the project that you're working on right here. And then what I was telling Joseph is that you can put bullet points in the description to make that kind of like a pseudo resume, so you can really track down what you've actually done, or really list out what you've actually done.
Okay.
And then that's going to be great. And then, yeah, you're going to be rearranging all of this. So I really can't give too much feedback on that right now. What I will say is that you're going to need a lot more content on there.
Okay. Would you say by content, do you mean like would it just be a mix of words and GIFs, or mostly GIFs?
Yeah, GIFs, pictures,
Okay.
anything combat related. So like your combat abilities, like your
Mhm.
the igniting the sword, or the swords falling from the sky, or any of the melee stuff, the AI stuff. All of those can be GIFed and then explained on this webpage.
Okay. Got it. I think I'll probably reference I think your Doomerang was the one that came out the best to me. Just how you just had each basically attack displayed.
Exactly. So I guess what that would look like. So I assume you're talking about all of these.
I'm
Or
give me 1 second for the stream to catch up.
okay.
But yes, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. I could even make these in GIF form. This was an entire video to show off their entire moveset.
How much do you think showing the blueprint code matters?
Not too much.
Okay, that's what I was feeling, but I wasn't too sure.
Yeah, you can show some things for organization purposes. Like I do have some on that other page. And then these are the GIFs that I added for this game that I made right here.
Okay.
But I just showed this down at the bottom just so, hey, I'm organized. This is how I kind of space out things. Don't know how much effect it had, but it was something to kind of give a look into how I organize things, which may be good for you.
Got it.
But that's pretty much all I have for you right now. Just reach back out to me when you're about 75% of the way, and then after you get that portfolio stood up on Wix.
All right, we'll do.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Of course. Thank you for being here, Adam.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Callum, you're going to be the last one, and I'm going to do this pretty quickly. So let me get out of Discord in the background. And then Callum, are you still in the chat? Okay, cool. Yes, you are. So go ahead and send me your Discord name, and then we'll get it started. Excuse me. I think I'm starting to trip over my words. I've been talking for so long without a little water. And then right now, while we're making this transition to the next person, feel free to drop your questions down in the comment box so we can get to them. Okay, just sent the friend request your way. Okay, calling you right now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Apologies, I'll have to be quiet. It's over 12:25 at the moment.
Okay, gotcha. No worries.
Okay. Thank you for taking the time to do this, Tyvek. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course.
Okay, let me just pull up the YouTube really quickly.
Okay, then I did send you a Streamlabs link. Did you receive that?
Let me just... Let me just check quickly. My laptop's a bit slow.
Gotcha.
Streamlabs. Need to open it. Good idea.
Okay, while you doing that, I'm gonna take me a water break.
Yeah, no problem. You have been going at it for quite a few hours. Where did you send the Streamlabs request?
Through LinkedIn.
Through LinkedIn. Right, I got you. Okay, I need to quickly log in and on this then. Bear with me.
And then while Callum is getting that set up, do know that this will be the last review for the night. So after this, we're gonna wrap it up. Then if I did not get to you, reach out to me. Jai, I know that you wanted a review as well. Yeah, if you didn't get a review today, what I'll do, if you didn't get a review today, I'm gonna make another live stream session for tomorrow at 2 p.m. since I've been gone for so long. So if I don't get you right now, then Jai, I'm gonna write your name down in a sticky note so that way I don't forget.
There it is. Join Streamlabs. Found it. Sorry for the delay, everyone. My poor laptop can't handle this. But I will make it. Stop glitching.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm just opening it up in Streamlabs now.
Okay.
I hope you've had a pleasant Saturday, Tovik. Is it Saturday for you currently?
Yes. I had a really good Saturday. I done boxing classes for the first time, and it was very, very fun. So, gonna be looking forward to taking more courses in the future.
Oh, great. Is that a weekly class that you take?
It would be, if I really wanted to like dive into it, it would be 4 times a week. So,
Oh, wow. That is quite a lot.
yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Saturday.
Oh,
And then,
my word. Yes. Outsource. Yep, yep. I think, has that worked?
okay, I'll see a button pop up on my end when you connect.
Is it because Discord's taking it, maybe? What's going on? Let's turn that off for a second.
Then of course, if you can't get this working on your end, then I can go ahead and go through your profile, portfolio, and resume. Your face just won't be on the screen.
Yeah, it should be, yeah. Connected to Tyvek, yeah. Share source. Webcam, I guess? No.
Okay. Now you just you popped up and then you went away.
Oh, okay, hang on. Let's try that.
Traptar said, have to head out. Thank you for putting in the effort to help people Tyvek, finding the balance to do this as well as working full time. Amazing stuff. Of course, man, I love helping y'all out. It is rough, but I know that I'm making a big difference. So happy to do it.
Is it doing it now? I'm not very experienced with Streamlabs, if I'm honest with you.
I seen it pop up for a little bit and then it went away. Then I guess here in a minute, if we don't get it working, then we can just go ahead and go through it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just to keep the show rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay, it's not gonna wrap its head around it. I'm afraid my poor laptop's not up to snuff, so we might have to just push on without my face, unfortunately.
Okay. So let's get into it. So I think everybody can hear you loud and clear.
Wait. Oh, my face is on here now, so what's happening now? Yeah, let's just continue with that, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so says here you're a content and narrative designer. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what your goals are.
So I was a game design student at a UK university, and I graduated in the year of 2021. Unfortunately, that was the year of COVID, so we didn't really get to have a lot of networking events or working at the university in person during my final year, which was a shame. So I've sort of focused, I've done research and such and tried doing some passion projects, but a lot of them, they were in collaboration with others, and unfortunately they kept falling through to my fault and others' fault, which happens. And due to personal circumstances, I'm without my computer at the moment. So I'm redirecting my efforts from going from being a generalist of a designer towards going towards narrative design, or the umbrella term of content designer, which is flavor text, world building, environmental design, mission design, anything that can tie in a story or a narrative into perhaps the mechanics or combat of the project itself, essentially.
Okay, gotcha. So are you aware that content designer and narrative designer are two totally different paths?
Yeah, I know that a content designer is more of an umbrella, whereas narrative's more of a specialization. That's as far as my knowledge goes.
Okay. So content designer is designers that are going to be filling the world with things to do. So like locations that you would visit, or people that you would see inside of the world. They're populating the world and giving it life. And the narrative designers are the ones crafting the stories and the narrative that the content designers take and then place into the game. So those are two roles. So the narrative designers are designing, the dialogue of the characters. What are they going to say? How are they going to communicate to other characters or anything else in the game? And then the overall story arc of whatever the project is, that's what the narrative designer is going to be working on. Or if they're more like associate level, maybe they work on item descriptions or flavor text here and there that don't really deal with the main story. So if you play Divinity Original Sin or Baldur's Gate, then an associate narrative designer may be the ones who are crafting the the stories that you read in the books that you pick up, or something of the sort. So those are two different things, and I wouldn't recommend that you market yourself on those both. Yes, narrative works very closely with content, but I don't think that narrative designer being under the content umbrella is the appropriate way you should think about that.
Okay. So I would say I'm more towards a narrative designer then.
Yes. Well, it depends. Do you want to make the dialogue or the dialogue for the characters and the story arc, all of those things?
Yes, so I like dialogue, whether that be serious dialogue within cutscenes or whilst idle gameplay, traveling from spot to spot or being assigned a mission, or whether that be dialogue within, say, for example, combat scene, facing a bad guy, such thing. But then it would be nice to, of course, this would be further down the career line, but the story arcs of the characters themselves, and possibly even the character arcs of the villains that the player would go up against, if such a thing was applicable.
Okay. Have you looked into how deep of a dive have you taken into what the expectations are for a narrative designer in the game industry?
Not too much. I've found from the looks that I could find, there's not too much information there. I mean, I've looked at a lot in regards to storytelling, the tropes that are used. I've looked at putting some of those into practice for myself. I'll talk more about that with my portfolio momentarily. But in regards to the expectations of what the industry would require from a junior narrative designer, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Let me set this into reality. Just gonna take it back to the screen right quick. Narrative designer is one of the most difficult positions to breach into in the industry because of the scarcity of it and how many people want to do narrative design. People want to break into the game development industry through level design and narrative design because they think that those are easy ins, and then that it requires no technical. So those are things that they can do in order to breach the industry. Level design is highly competitive. Narrative design, narrative writers is highly competitive even more because you don't really have that many narrative writers or narrative designers at a studio. At Sucker Punch right now, I think our narrative team is maybe like 6 people deep. And that's for a AAA company.
Yeah, that's AAA. That's not a lot.
Yeah. And that's just for AAA. If you go indie, there's not going to be too many narrative designers working on the same title because the stories are not that gargantuan. They're very simple compared to AAA. So one thing that you must know, and then what year are you right now?
So I graduated in 2021, and I've been 2 years out of the industry, or is it just past 3? No, 2 years, excuse me. Yeah, 2023. So it's 2 years I've been out.
Okay. And then what have you been doing in the meantime?
So I continued part of a project that was a passion project of mine with friends that was very content/narrative based. It was being a games master for a tabletop that was custom made. And then since coming to personal circumstances, I no longer have access to my computer. So I can no longer use the power of Unreal Engine to create any more sort of combat-based or narrative-based projects. So I've been writing instead, creative writing for a novel that I have planned.
Okay. And then how long have you been going down the narrative path?
For narrative, I've been going down that for about 2 to 3 years now. It's been quite a passion of mine ever since before I started university. But that was only when picking it up idly, noticing certain tropes and storytelling techniques in films and video games and animated shows. And then I started studying it a bit more as to why these are used and what effect does this have for the viewer and for the characters in the world.
Okay. And then Arthur just joined the chat, said, "Hey everyone." Welcome in, Arthur. Glad to have you here. Okay, one thing, have you been talking to any narrative designers in AAA?
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
My network is stuntedly short, unfortunately.
Okay. So one thing, thank you for God, I cannot talk right now. Thank you for subscribing, Arthur. Okay. One thing that I would recommend above anything is you need to talk to narrative designers to figure out what you need to do. All I know are what, from the recruiters that I've talked to, narrative doesn't really have that many open positions. And if you do want to go to narrative, I'm not saying don't do it. I mean, meaning you have to be very strategic and smart about how you approach this, because narrative writing, storytelling, dialogue, voice lines, all of those things are drastically different, and all of those things require a certain skill set in order to do it well. And you need to be into contact with narrative designers because they're doing the thing that you want to do right now. And you will not have a great path forward if you don't reach out to anybody, because narrative is one of the most elusive job roles in the industry. So the only thing that I can recommend to you right now, without looking at like your portfolio and everything, is that you need to contact somebody ASAP so that you can get them on your side. Whatever AAA company that you like, reach out to the narrative writers there, reach out to 5 of them, and then see what you need to do, what you need to practice in order to boost up your skills, in order to be hireable, because you'd be surprised the skills that they'll tell you that you need to level up, and it's not what you think. And simply writing is not going to solve that problem, because you're writing in a way that makes sense to you. But whether or not that resonates for other people is a different thing. So there's so many techniques that you need for narrative design. So reach out to somebody and figure out a game plan for that.
Okay.
Harvey, reach out to, let's see, Harvey Bickett. He's the person that was streaming with me when playing Remnant. Great friend of mine. He's in the narrative design space as well, and he has a lot of knowledge about what he's been told for narrative design purposes and whatnot. And he has a really good portfolio with breakdowns and whatnot. So reach out to him and then ask him questions, pick his brain, and see where you can go from there.
Okay.
And then let's see. Okay, so the about section, I graduated from T-side?
E-side, yes.
T-side, okay. T-side University with a Bachelor's of Art in Game and Interactive Media Design, where I learned how to design, develop, and test games and interactive applications using various tools, platforms, and frameworks. Eager to learn new skills, refine my existing skill set. My goal is to combine my passion for game design, my interest in narrative to create. Okay. Don't tell me what you did. Tell me why you're great.
Okay.
What skills do you bring to your craft that are unique to you? You want to sell yourself, not necessarily what journey you've been on. So while this
Okay.
is great, if I took Callum out of the situation, anybody can paste this and put it on their own platform or their own page.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. And then experience, skills, communication, knowledge, acquisition. Explain a little bit more here. So if there's any transferable skills from these positions that you've been at that's going to help you with narrative design, then put those in the skills. Not too many though. And then also what I was talking about with, some other people here is make sure oh God, I'm not even looking at the page. There we go. Okay. So what I was talking about earlier is that if I go to my page and I go down here, you can look at Naughty Dog, and then you can see that I have bullet points for what I've actually done at those jobs.
Oh, I see. Okay, yes.
So that way it's clear, it's concise.
Yes, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So do that, and then try to find a transferable link from those jobs that's going to help you in narrative design. And that project that you was working on, if it went on for a certain amount of time, do put that on your profile as well.
Okay.
And then list the skills under there, what you've done. It's kind of like a pseudo resume.
Yes.
Of sorts. Okay, you have a portfolio link right here. I'm a game designer focused on building compelling stories and immersive experiences in virtual worlds and other mediums. So one thing that I would be cautious of is that up here, you're a content and narrative designer. On your portfolio, you're a game designer. Sure, those things fall under game designer, but you want to make sure you're succinct all the way through when you're trying to self-market yourself. You're focused on building compelling stories and immersive experiences in virtual worlds and other mediums. Anybody can say that. What do you bring to the table that makes your style really shine? Okay, projects. So looking at that video, all of this looks really compelling. It's just that you told me that you want to be content and narrative. I go to your portfolio, and then this is not that. So
okay, so it's because from the other applications that I've applied, because I will say that I have had interviews from industry. I won't say who because of NDAs, but I got to the selection process of a job and I was declined because of it, because of things I can't mention because of NDAs. But I think it was majoritively down to experience, and maybe I think the best way to term it is creative vision, I suppose. Yeah, and that put a large dent in me, considering it took over half a year to go through all of those processes. and I'm really passionate about my narrative, but I also enjoy having the skills of being a game/combat designer if there's anything too narrowing down, because there's only a select amount of material on my portfolio which I know is lacking, which I wish I could amend on, which I will probably do once my personal circumstances amend themselves.
Okay. So, to be frank with you, you're showing me good looking combat. These are all projects that you've created?
Yes, or in collaboration with others, yes.
This looks a lot more compelling than the narrative vision that you're trying to sell me. You could be very passionate about narrative. It is a lot harder to demonstrate narrative in your portfolio. What I'm seeing right now is combat, action, is tangible. And, the punches of, one of the games that you've made, it looks good. All of this shows that you've done combat things. So I think, for my opinion, you should market yourself on this, because it's going to be a lot easier for you to get into the industry with tangible technical skills like this rather than narrative design, because those jobs are few and far between.
I see.
So,
okay.
Now, once you get into the industry and you breach that, and then you get into combat or a game designer focused role, and you want to move towards narrative, okay, then start making the shifts to move towards narrative, because then you're in-house, you have narrative people to talk to on the daily basis, and then you're already in the industry and people can vouch for you.
I see.
But what you're showing me right now, if you're capable of technical skill to that degree, then I would go off of that and then just go all in on it. You can be passionate and create stories to wrap your combat in, but you have technical skills that you have, and you're just not using right now if you're marketing yourself as a narrative designer.
I see. Okay.
So that's the advice that I would give.
Amazing. So that one's just a supercut, a slower playthrough than the trailer. That was more focused on creating a mission, filling it with some story ideas, and then just going with, because this one we were handed a demo of some technical aspects already, and that was more enemy and level design essentially, and a little bit of story interweaved with environmental storytelling. But the rest of them were custom projects.
Okay, cool. Let me see if I have got to find this portfolio, and then I'm gonna wrap this up soon. Let me see, combat,
Of course.
portfolio. Oh, do I know it? Oh wow. Let's see. Combat portfolio. Where is it at? I'm surprised I can't find that. There's a portfolio I want you all to see, but it looks like I just cannot find it. Okay. I'll find it, and then I'll do a mass post about it.
Perfect, yes.
But yeah, I would say for the overall portfolio, these to the edge portfolios are great if you're doing art, but if you're doing more combat focused things, then pushing those edges in to where the content is in the middle of the screen works out a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more readable.
I see.
So I'll go to mine, like mine's in the center for the thumbnails even. So I click on this, and then mine is in a very like small sliver on the screen. So I don't have, my eyes don't have to go out here and read all the way across the screen. It's just centered.
I see. Yes.
So that's a little bit easier to parse through for people who will be looking at your portfolio. And then, I mean, the spacing between each of these elements is a little much.
Yeah, I think that's down to a limitation of the website builder itself. It's a relatively unknown one, and I've tried looking at others, but they're a whole difficulty curve in themselves.
Okay. Well, if you need to learn a website builder to display yourself in the best possible light, then that's what it has to be. What I would recommend is
Absolutely.
Wix. Wix is as
Wix.
easy as Squarespace to put together, but Wix gives you more details to make tweaks the way that you want it.
Nice. Yeah, like I remember you saying earlier in the stream with Little Big Planet, there was a lot of accessibility and options there once you got to the point to understand it.
Yeah.
And some of them don't offer that amount of depth that you'd like to get to at some point, whereas some of them do. But again, it's a difficulty curve which you have to conquer sometimes.
Right. And then so I'm clicking over here, same thing that I told Adam, is that this is a mobile style button. And then Wix handles this all for you. It makes a mobile version in the background for you. But if I click on this, you have mission design, journeyman, final year project, D&D campaign contact. I don't care about, I don't know what any of those are. Those are mission design. Is that like a specific? Journeyman, what is that? Final year project, when was the final year? D&D campaign, so on and so forth. What I do know is that contact, I can click on that. Here it is. On the contact me page, I would have your picture here so people can know your face. And then your LinkedIn. And then one thing that I would advocate against is don't do centered text unless you have to. Because it's kind of harder to read than left align text. So if we go to about contact, you'll see that since I have that content barrier squeezed in, I still have the left align text. It's still in the center of the screen where I want it. And then I have my picture right here. And then a little blurb. This is still outdated.
Yes.
But
it's very front and center. It's very compressed, succinct, in the middle, very digestible.
Yeah. So I'd say look at my portfolio for ways that you can kind of structure your information. And learn Wix. I love it. It's intuitive. It does take a little bit to get used to, but it can really help you build out great portfolios.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I guess the homework that I would give to you is figure out how you're going to market yourself. Do you want to go towards a technical route? That's probably going to be a little bit easier to get into. And since you've shown that you can do it, if you were, the main technical person on those projects who made the combat, then that's great. Narrative, make that be something that you just want to do. You're passionate about it. That's completely fine. But narrative, at this point, you've been out of college for a while. Narrative is more like artistic, and it takes time to build up. It takes a lot of time. You have the technical skills already. Utilize those. Those are tangible, and then you can get immediate feedback on something like combat, and then use that to breach the industry first. And then once you get in, then you can pivot to where you want to be. But you have the skills to go that direction, and you're way closer than your narrative right now.
I see. Okay.
I'd focus on that.
Okay. Fantastic.
Now, is there any last question that you want to ask me before I shut down this stream?
Wow, no, not really. I mean, thank you very much for taking the time to go through it with me. I suppose working in AAA is mental, as you've said, like it's crazy, and you love it every single day as you would. Um, yeah, keep up the good work, because Sucker Punch is one of my favorites. I was a fan of the Infamous days, and I'm yet to play Ghost of Tsushima, so
You're doing yourself
it's
a
very
disservice.
inspiring.
You got to
Very
play
inspiring to be told this. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Of course, if you can play it, would love to know what you think about it.
I will do. As soon as I've got myself all stabilized out, I'll definitely tear into it.
Gotcha. Well, I hope. Sounds like you're kind of in a spot right now, so I hope things really do get better for you, Callum.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I love seeing your portfolio right now. I love the technical aspect of it, and I really think that you should just keep on pushing on that because there's promise there. Okay.
Okay, perfect. That's the motivation I needed. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Tyvik.
of
I
course.
appreciate it.
Keep pushing. Please keep pushing.
I will do.
Okay. All right. Thank you for being here.
And thank you to everyone else as well. Thank you.
All right, Callum.
Yes, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Whew. Now, that was a long stream. That was 3 hours. Did not expect it to go that long, but the technical difficulties, I wanted to give y'all a little bit more time. That was errors on my part that I need to figure out, but it's never happened before. But Desi made it, said, just want to thank you. I'm a high school student, but I'm trying to get a head start here. I always love to hear you getting an early start on trying to breach the industry, because it is hard. It gets harder and harder the longer that you wait. So the fact that you're in a high school, love to hear it. But just trying to get a head start here and learn as much as possible. Your time is valued and appreciated. Glad you're getting some value out of this, and most importantly, glad you're starting really, really early. And then VDRCCC. Hi, everyone. Hi, Tyvik. Joined in late. This was the earliest I could join. Going to review the rest of your stream later. A lot of great content. A lot of great content tonight. A lot of great technical issues as well. So be ready to skip through a few parts to get to the good bits. How do you pronounce your name? Is it Kenny or is it Keen? I don't want to keep on pronouncing that wrong. Anyways, he said, thanks for the stream, man. This was great. Hoping to get a review for one of these streams. Learned a lot tonight. Glad you learned something. Okay, Kenny. Gotcha. All right. And Adam said, really appreciate the help. Always glad to help. All right. We're going to get out of here. Thank you all for bearing with me for the technical difficulties. And also, again, thank you all for being here after I've been away for, so long. It's always great to see you all show up, support me, support other people getting their portfolio reviewed online. That is a very daunting thing for anybody to go through, is to put their portfolio, their heart and soul out on the internet for a lot of people to see. So it's not easy. And since this is, my raw take, no sugarcoat, we don't sugarcoat anything around here. It can kind of seem like I'm coming across as harsh sometimes or very rigid, but I'm trying to give y'all the best answers that I know how to actually prepare you all for how brutal the game industry is to infiltrate. So hopefully being here, you learned some stuff. I heard some people taking notes, or people told me that they've been taking notes in the background on other people's portfolios. So thank you all for taking notes. Thank you all for taking this knowledge that I'm giving you all and writing it down to use later. And I hope that it really helps you all out. But and then Arthur said, discovering your stream today. Can't wait for the next one. Hedgeson said, thank you very much for the help, Tyvik. Really appreciate what you're doing for all of us. Not a problem at all. With that being said, I still have some more stuff that I need to do today. So I'm going to go ahead and break away from here. Again, thank you all for being here, spending these 3 hours with me. And then I hope the value that I've been able to provide tonight, leads to fruitful results for you and for you all getting or meeting your goals. So with that being said, peace out. Until next time.